Let's start with a confession. The twin flame journey is nothing like the Instagram memes promise. There's no cosmic guarantee of rose petals and sunset embraces. No spiritual contract ensuring you'll ride off into the astral sunset together. What there is, what makes this bond so electrifying and unnerving, is something far more interesting: a mirror. Not the kind you check your hair in, but the kind that reflects back every unhealed wound, every hidden fear, every dormant piece of potential you've been too afraid to claim. This is where most people get tripped up. We've been sold this idea that twin flames are about romantic finality, that if you just endure enough chaos, you'll be rewarded with a love story for the ages. But what if the universe has a far more radical agenda? What if the real magic lies in the questions, not the answers? Can twin flames exist as best friends? Absolutely, if that's what forces the deepest growth. Must they be physically together to be in union? Hardly. Some connections transcend geography, like Wi-Fi signals no walls can block. Is this bond always comfortable? Oh, hell no. Comfort isn't the point. Awakening is. This reading isn't about giving you textbook definitions. It's about unraveling the delicious contradictions that make twin flame connections so maddeningly profound. We'll dig into why these bonds defy conventional relationship categories, how separation can be its own form of intimacy, and why free will is the wild card that keeps this whole journey gloriously unpredictable. Buckle up. We're not just exploring concepts here. We're dissecting a phenomenon that's equal parts psychological, spiritual, and flat out bewildering. By the end, you might not have tidy answers, but you'll have something better: clarity, the kind that sticks in your minds long after. Ready to get real about soul connections? Let's begin. You ever meet someone who feels like your soul's long-lost echo? Like they downloaded your operating system before you even booted up? That's the twin flame vibe. Except society keeps trying to shove it into the romantic destiny category because, well, love sells. But what if I told you your twin flame could be the person who laughs at your terrible jokes, calls you out on your nonsense, and still sticks around without ever kissing you? Think about it. If twin flames are mirrors, why would the universe only allow one kind of reflection? Some mirrors show you your beauty, others show you the spinach in your teeth. Some scream, "Fix your life," while others whisper, "I've got your back." The connection isn't about fitting into a relationship label, it's about recognition. You look at them and think, oh, it's you. Of course it's you. Whether that you is a lover, a best friend, or even a temporary but seismic presence in your life doesn't matter. The bond is in the knowing, not the kissing. And let's be real, how many romances survive the brutal honesty of a twin flame dynamic? Most relationships crumble when forced to endure the kind of ego death this bond demands. But friendship can handle the truth. It doesn't need rose-colored glasses. It just needs two people willing to say, yeah, we're messed up. Want to grow together anyway? Ever noticed how some of the most intense spiritual partnerships in history weren't romantic? Take Freud and Jung, total mind meld, explosive fallout, yet their connection reshaped psychology. Or Lennon and McCartney, creative twins who birthed genius and then bickered like an old married couple. The universe doesn't care if you're sharing a bed or a brainwave. It cares if you're waking each other up. So no, twin flames don't have to be romantic. They just have to be real. And sometimes, the purest form of love is the one that doesn't ask for ownership, just presence. Let's get one thing straight. If twin flames were supposed to be glued together 24/7, the universe wouldn't keep inventing creative ways to rip them apart. Breakups, continents, miscommunications so epic they'd make a Shakespearean tragedy look like a minor misunderstanding. But here's the kicker. Physical distance doesn't break the bond, it upgrades it. Think of it like Wi-Fi. Just because you're not plugged into the router doesn't mean the connection's dead. It's still humming in the background, syncing data, waiting for you to log back in. Ever notice how some of the most intense twin flame unions happen across time zones, lifetimes, or, let's be real, that weird phase where you're just friends, but your soul's doing backflips every time they text? Rumi and Shams didn't need a shared apartment to rewrite spirituality. Tesla's visions didn't require a lab partner. Sometimes the most profound unions thrive because of the distance, not in spite of it. Absence isn't the absence of connection. It's the universe's way of forcing you to stare at your own reflection until you stop flinching. Why does it hurt so damn much? Because you're not just missing a person. You're missing a piece of your own awareness. Twin flames aren't two halves of a whole. They're two complete mirrors, forcing each other to see the cracks they've been ignoring. The ache isn't about proximity. It's about growth, which frankly is a terrible consolation prize when you're crying over their Spotify playlist. But hey, enlightenment isn't always Instagram friendly. You see, union isn't a location, it's a frequency. You know when you're humming a song and suddenly they text you the lyrics? Or you dream about them and they post that exact quote the next morning? That's not coincidence. That's the bond laughing at your insistence that love requires a shared zip code. The more you chase physical closeness as proof, the more life will dangle it just out of reach. Because the real work happens in the quiet, in the gaps, in the fine, I'll deal with my own baggage moments. So no, you don't have to live in the same city, kiss under the same moon, or even speak the same language to be in union. You just have to surrender to the fact that some connections are wired deeper than geography. And if that sounds infuriatingly vague, welcome to the twin flame journey, where the rules are made up and the logic doesn't matter. Let's cut to the chase. If twin flames were truly destined in some rigid, pre-programmed way, this whole thing would be a lot less messy. There wouldn't be agonizing separations, mixed signals, or those 3 a.m. text spirals where you debate whether to send a heart emoji or a Wikipedia link on emotional unavailability. But here's the twist. The universe loves a good plot twist. And free will? That's its favorite toy. Imagine your twin flame connection as a choose-your-own-adventure book written by a mischievous god with a caffeine addiction. The potential for union is always there, humming in the background, like a song you can't quite place. But whether you end up in romantic bliss, platonic soul bonding, or a "we're not speaking but our souls are yelling" stalemate. That's entirely up to you and them and the million tiny choices you both make every damn day. Destiny sets the stage, but free will writes the script. And sometimes the script gets tossed in the trash halfway through and you improvise. Here's where it gets spicy. You can have a twin flame and still choose not to be with them. Wild, right? But think about it. If the point of this connection is growth, what if staying apart is the growth? What if loving them means releasing them? Or what if, plot twist, you're meant to love them as a friend, because romance would turn your lives into a dumpster fire of codependency? The universe isn't a Hallmark movie. It's more like a Tarantino film, unpredictable, brutal, and weirdly profound. Why does it hurt so much when free will clashes with meant to be? Because you're not just grieving a person, you're grieving a potential, a shimmering mirage of what could have been. But here's the secret. Potential isn't lost. It's just waiting for you to choose it. And sometimes, the bravest choice is walking away. Other times it's staying. But the magic and the agony is that it's yours to make. So no, twin flames don't have to end up together. They just have to mean something. And maybe that meaning isn't a fairy tale. Maybe it's a wake-up call, a revolution, a quiet, unshakable knowing that changes you forever. You know that moment when you're watching a fireworks show and two rockets shoot into the sky at the same time. For a second, their paths cross, bright, explosive, breathtaking. And then they keep going, higher, in different directions. That's the thing about twin flames nobody talks about. Sometimes their job isn't to stay tangled. It's to propel each other forward like cosmic slingshots. Think about it. We're obsessed with union like it's some finish line. But what if the universe is playing a longer game? What if your twin flame is less of a soulmate and more of a spiritual launchpad? You collide, you ignite, you burn away each other's illusions. And then the real work begins, alone. But not really alone, because their energy is still woven into yours, like a song you can't stop humming. Ever met someone who cracked you open in a way that should have destroyed you, but instead it rewired you? That's the twin flame effect at its most potent. They don't just reflect you, they accelerate you. And here's the kicker. That acceleration might require distance. Like trees growing side by side, but needing space to reach full height. Too close, and the roots choke each other. Too far, and they still share nutrients underground. Here is the beautiful paradox of parallel growth. They're your mirror, not your anchor. A true twin flame doesn't hold you back. They force you to outgrow the version of yourself that clings. Separation isn't failure, it's physics. Two stars orbiting each other can't merge without collapsing into a black hole. And nobody wants that kind of drama. The ripple effect is real. Your growth post-encounter isn't just for you, it's for everyone you touch afterward. Like throwing a pebble into a pond and watching the waves hit shores you'll never see. The real question isn't, will we reunite? It's, how far will we fly? Maybe your twin flame was never meant to be your happily ever after. Maybe they were the match, not the bonfire. And that's okay. More than okay. It's liberating. Because when you stop measuring the bond by proximity and start measuring it by transformation, you realize The most powerful unions don't always look like love stories. Sometimes they look like evolution. So if you're out there wondering why it didn't work out the way the memes promised, ask yourself this: did I grow? If the answer's yes, then guess what? It worked. So here you are, standing at the edge of all this twin flame wisdom, wondering what to do with it. Maybe you came looking for answers, hoping someone would hand you a roadmap to union spelled out in neon signs. Instead, you got something far more valuable: permission. Permission to let this connection be whatever it needs to be without forcing it into the shape of someone else's love story. Think of it like this: a sculptor doesn't blame the marble for being stubborn. She works with its cracks, its contours, its unexpected veins of color. Your twin flame bond is no different. It's raw material, wild, unpredictable, and pulsing with potential. But you are the artist here. You get to decide whether this becomes a towering masterpiece, a quiet study in contrasts, or even something you walk away from because the vision no longer serves you. And that's the real magic. No cosmic rule book says you have to stay glued to this person to prove your growth. Sometimes the bravest act of love is releasing the form to honor the essence. Here's the truth no one tells you. The moment you stop obsessing over what should be and start honoring what is, something shifts. The desperation eases. The synchronicities multiply. You realize union wasn't hiding in their arms after all. It was waiting in the quiet spaces between your thoughts, in the way you finally stopped abandoning yourself to keep a fantasy alive. So go ahead, love them wildly as a partner, a friend, or even a bittersweet memory that taught you your own depth. Or don't. Walk away if that's what your soul demands. Either way, you win. Because the ultimate purpose of a twin flame was never to complete you, but to remind you you were never broken to begin with. Now that's a happy ending,